assembly area, the back of the pit garages, and we're looking at the number 33 car of Ho Kar Meng, little Mini Cooper S. Two categories, the up to 1600 and the 2-litre cars, all represented, and a huge field will be competing this weekend. Number 14, Learn Kin On, Mitsubishi. Many Mitsubishis represented here. It's Luciano Castillo Ramirez in his Mitsubishi. And these cars are regular favourites here at Macau, have been for many years. Mitsubishis, Mini Coopers, Peugeot RCZs, that's still a particularly popular car in this region, David.
Yeah, they are a good shape.
They're a great looking car.
An example, number 72, and also number 12, similar car of Iptak Mang. So we should have something like 35 cars. I say should have because 3 didn't get a lap time in the earlier session, and one of the cars that didn't get a lap time in was Chelio Alves Dias, who is normally a front runner with the 1.6 litre turbocharged Mini, number 11, the white Mini when you see it. So that's the car to look for because it needs to get some proper mileage in. And also keep an eye to number 59 of Wang Kuai-Hua, I should say, because that was the car that caused a red flag in the earlier session.
Top of the times this morning was car number 28, a regular here at Macau, bit of a star of Macau as well, Geronimo Badaraco. Top the times in the Song Veng Racing Team Mitsubishi. Best lap was a 2:41.115. It was cooler. There was less rubber down on the circuit. Let's see what they'll do over 25 minutes of this second free practice session of the day. This, of course, the outlap from pit lane. So getting heat into the tyres is very much the name of the game on this lap. But once they do so, we'll start to see the huge entry break away from each other and try and put in meaningful laps.
Again, it's a grid of all shapes and sizes, rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. The low-line sports cars being almost towered over by the Minis. So see there the Lotus Siege and the very high Mini in the background. 83 is Chan Chi Ho with the Lotus Elise, and number 7 Mini is Lowman 5 with the RPM Racing Team entry.
Junio da Costa Pereira, you saw there, Macau driver in the Ford Fiesta ST, car number 46. And they're in quite a train as they go around the Melco hairpin. We mentioned it during free practice 1, but many of these drivers, this is an obvious highlight of a racing year, isn't it? Looking forward to this event. So many of the drivers from Macau, and to be competing on this world stage, there'll be huge crowds in the grandstand over the course of 4 days here at Macau, and of course the global television audience as well. This is Christmas a month early.
Luciano Castillo Ramirez has just set the target time, but a 3:17 is nothing really to get excited about yet. This is the first proper flying lap that they are now on. So 33, the next of the rapid minis goes by of Ho Kar Meng, and as we've been saying, Geronimo Badaraco is the driver to beat based on this morning. 2:41.1 was the time, so if you find number 28 Mitsubishi, that's a quick car. But number 1 of Leon Wong, oh dear, in the wall there, look, is Ben Lowe. And he's headbutted the wall at Lisboa. You can see the tyre mark. So again, he's tried to make the corner rather than go left and go out the escape road.
Just a little bit further down from where we saw a car knows that unforgiving tyre barrier at Lisboa during the previous session. It's a typical mistake at Lisboa. It's a great overtaking place. Therefore, by very nature of a great overtaking position, it's big deceleration. They are carrying huge speed down from the Macau hairpin, down through Black Sands, through Fisherman's, R Bend, across the start-finish line, and then through the incredibly quick Mandarin. And if you get it wrong, you've got the option. You can try and get it through if you think you haven't got it too wrong, or you can go down the escape road. Escape road is a really good option, because otherwise that horrible understeering feeling just happened to bend low.
I think he has got going again, so that car circulating, and hopefully, because it was sort of square into the tyres, won't have done too much damage, but it might be worth a pit stop just to double check. And the session therefore continues as you look at Luciano Castillo Lamerache in the Bobadilla Racing Team Evo 9 Mitsubishi, that we've been talking about in the past, being a bit smoky as a type, not this particular one, but the smoke never seems to affect the pace.
We get initially worried, and then we realise that our worries were, you see, there was just a little puff of smoke out the back there. It's something that you once told me about some Alfa Romeos. It's a feature.
It's a feature, yes. It must be. It's an interesting feature, that's for sure. So smoking is not completely outlawed. Right, number 3 then goes through. So a better lap time now by Lamerache, 2 minutes 40.645. And we need to see the next proper lap out of Geronimo Balaraco, I should say. It's fascinating watching these cars, isn't it, relative to the GT3, for example, or the touring cars. Not necessarily because they're a different spec, but because these are largely amateur drivers. And so the way they attack the circuit is slightly different. You know, they're not racing week after week after week at the level that a Huff or a Marciello is, for example.
And it also makes me wonder how much the field from, for example, this road sports race comes out and watches, for example, the GT free practice session that we've just seen. I'm sure many of them do, and they probably do from different parts of the circuit.
I think you're probably right. Well, there's a man that's got going again. We've all been watching his demise, but he's got going again. Ben Lowe, so he's back circulating.
It is incredible, that size differential between the Lotus and the Mini. Now you've mentioned it, I can't stop noticing.
Balaraco's up to second, 2:49.8 now. And then up to third fastest is Mochi Fai in, guess what, another Mitsubishi Evo.
Chu Hio Fong has gone second, 2:49.381. This is just on their first flying laps, and Lamerache has gone significantly quicker on the first flying lap. So really showing the intent and having a clear lap.
And what they're all hoping is that they can get clear mileage in, but up the escape road at Lisboa has gone the next errant car, that of Chan Chi Ha. The earlier Evo 9 Mitsubishi tries to get going again, but they just want laps. They want to keep going, try and get into a rhythm, because then it starts to flow and they can start to learn and they can build and they can gain experience.
The flow they didn't get on free practice 1, as you mentioned, with the number 59 car, causing the red flag. Wong Kwai Wah. Wong Kwai Wah is not out, so no laps completed by the 59 car. And that was option A, taking the escape road. It's costly as far as time is concerned. You have to negotiate the car, pass your driving test, turn it round, get back on the circuit, but less damaging to the car. Leung Ki-on is the car we're looking at now, coming up towards Macau. The green flashing panel will be displayed throughout car racing this weekend. It signifies the end of the no overtaking area of the circuit, which is the Macau hairpin. Green light flashes, and then overtaking allowed once more.
So they're down to Fisherman's comes Leung Kin On, and that Evo 9 is 7th fastest. Replay of, oh dear, number 20 Mini, Rui Vallon pulling off with a mechanical drama. That was heading up San Francisco Hill, wasn't it?
But doing a really good job of finding the gap in the barrier and getting the car off the circuit.
Yeah. Well, that's 2 Minis in strife, because we've had that car in trouble, and also Chelio Alves Dias in strife from the first free practice period. So it's not looking very good for 2 cars, 2 drivers that you would normally expect to find up near the front, as now up to 2nd fastest has just gone Wan Jin Sun's Evo 9.
That's quite a group, isn't it? And with a field as big as we have, then it's going to be fairly inevitable that traffic is going to play a part. Not so for the 14 car of Leung Kin On, who presses on through Lisboa up towards San Francisco. Lemireth it is that tops the times, and another fastest lap on the 2nd flying lap, 2:37.155. Geronimo Badaracco with a 2:45.906 is 2nd. 2:41.116 was the fastest lap this morning.
And there on a mission is number 18 of Chu Hu Fong, the RPM racing team, another of the Mitsubishi pedalers, 3rd fastest, and looks rapid. Gets it safely through Lisboa, having picked his way through the traffic. So Chu Hu Fong going nicely here, and he has got to find, believe it or not, 10 seconds before he can attack for the top time. As
he's got plenty of traffic in front.
Yeah, and Mochi Fai going rather slowly just to the right of the road there.
We actually got a really good view going into San Francisco of the wheel being fed through the wheel, through the windscreen, and it's rare that you get such a clear picture of a driver working inside the car. Great camera angle, that.
Right, now Ben Lowe comes under attack because he's got one of the Evos bearing down on him, and this therefore compromises Chu Hu Fong. Tries to find a way through, looks to the inside, can't do it there.
No way there. So it's going to be a slightly frustrated lap, this one. Lemireth with a 2:37.155 on the 2nd of 2 flying laps that have been completed so far in this session. Geronimo Badaracco topped the times earlier on. Car number 28, 2:45.906. Finally gets past the Fiesta through Donna Maria up towards, rather down towards Melco Hairpin.
And there's more traffic up the road as well. So Ben Lowe turns through. He's going to come under attack once again. It is still Luciano Castillo-Lamerash that is the fastest, but he's now come into the pit lane. 59, I think. I've just seen go through the shot there. So onto the circuit finally has gone Wang Kwai Wa.
And Wan Jin Tun has just gone 2nd, 2:44.629. Geronimo Badaracco therefore down 1 place, down 2 places now, because that was a good lap, wasn't it, by Chu Hu Fong. Goes 3rd. So we were right to be following that lap around.
But everywhere he wants to be, there is traffic, because there's the Peugeot RCZ that he's going to have to negotiate in a moment of Lam Hong Fai. Comes down now out of Lisboa.
That's a remarkable lap early on in this session by the Lemireth, isn't it? 2:37.155.
Yeah, no wonder he can afford to sit in the pit lane. Oh, that was with a very fortunate escape from Lisboa for Chu Hu Fong there, because that was heading towards the tyres. It just bit at the last moment, didn't it? And brought him back onto the line for the corner. And bad road. So quickest in FP1, 4th in FP2. And trying overly hard, the Macau driver up the escape road down at Lisboa.
It's the better of the options at Lisboa, isn't it? To use the escape road, but it does cost a bit of time to get the car negotiated back onto circuit. Looking at the 59 car, this is Wang Wai Wa. The Song Veng red and yellow colour has been so predominant here at Macau for many years. And that's a clear circuit for the 59 car. Wong Kwai Wong Wah, is at the wheel of that car.
That's the one that ground to a halt in FP1. So this mileage is a test as much as anything to make sure that it's healthy.
Vital, yeah, absolutely vital. Tomorrow, of course, here at Macau, we go into qualifying day and then racing all the way on Saturday and Sunday. First weekend at Macau for 2 years that we've had a 4-day meeting, and it's a very welcome return to normality as far as the look of the Macau Grand Prix weekend is concerned.
Yeah, the bikers are back, but there's more track time for the others, isn't there? Because last year it was only one free practice session.
It was.
I mean, granted, the F4 drivers for the Grand Prix itself, ironically, didn't really get anything to speak of in FP1 because of the stoppage, but more track time is on the table for everybody.
Iptak Meng, car number 12, launches up quite a few places there. 5th place now for Iptak Meng, one of the regulars here at Macau. And we've been watching Chu Hio Fong negotiating the traffic. 3rd quickest, that car, 2:41.096. Best lap time for that car. And the gap is coming down, isn't it? Because the number 15 car that has gone second, Wan Jingtun, brought the gap down to 3.9 seconds to Lemireth, which is a lot more respectable, but still a big gap.
It is a big gap, it is. And at the moment, Lemire is sitting in the pit lane in the knowledge that he doesn't have to do a great deal because he has got a very good lap time out of that car. It's not qualifying, it's almost mission accomplished. He doesn't have to drive round and round and round. Confident enough, he can let everybody else abuse their tyres accordingly. So here, Chu Hio Fong is looking at being quicker in Sector 2 as well. We'll get to the... Oh, there's more traffic up the road, though. The next squabble he might encounter here, look, going down towards police. So this is the perennial danger. There's always going to be somebody somewhere that might just scupper your lap. Not deliberately, but just because of their pace relative to yours and where you find them on the circuit. So, number 1, which is Leon Long, fastest, second fastest in the first session, has only just gone out to do a time. So, Leon Wong leaving it late, that's for sure. There's somebody else that's just backed out of a lap. That's number 15 of Wan Jin Sun. Lets the minis go. Yes, Alan?
Just having a look, sorry, I'll press the button. Just having a look at some of the times from qualifying for the Win Macau Challenge Cup, which involved these cars last year. And Wong Wan Long in the Evo 10, the best lap was some 3.1 seconds quicker than anyone else.
Wow.
Impressive time. 2:33.9 pole time last year. And the reason that we're bringing up the Win Macau Challenge Cup, we didn't have the Roadsport Challenge here at Macau last year. However, the cars that competed in the Win Macau Challenge Cup last year are the same collection of cars, the Mitsubishis and the Honda Civic we had with these cars last year. So just to give us an idea of a Mitsubishi time around the gear circuit. That was impressive, wasn't it? 2:33.906 pole time last year.
It also shows that there's a lot of time yet to be found, although now Chu Hio Fong has got to within just over 0.8 of a second of that fastest time of Lemirash. So he's getting on with the programme, and with 5 3/4 minutes to go, narrowing that margin all the time.
And they have thus far, as you say, there's 5.5 minutes of the session remaining. They have thus far managed to achieve something they didn't in their first session today, and that is get into the swing of a session.
Yeah.
No interruption, no necessity for a red flag or a recovery of a car. So therefore, although number 14 car looked rather slow there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether it was bailing from a lap or whether it's got a problem. But
or whether it has a problem. Yeah.
either way, Lernkin is not at the proper pace, that's for sure.
Currently 7th, number 14.
Still got something like 6 cars that haven't done a time.
Number 15, up towards the rather testing area of police, and then into Moorish. Leads into the very long left-hander, the sweep around Donna Maria, down to the Macau hairpin. It's the car that now is in 3rd position, because number 18, Chu Hio Fong, has gone 2nd with a that's closer, 2:38.015 goes 2nd. Car number 18, less than 1 second the gap between car 18 and Luciano Lamirez. Top of the times, slow car there.
Yeah, that was Lo Men Thai, who I think is going to expire by the side of the road. He was squabbling with another of the minis, which was the car he was with coming down the hill, but that's ground to a halt. It's off the line, but it's just coming out of Fisherman's, and so it could well be that that's another interruption, I'm afraid. 3.5 minutes on the clock.
Wan Jin Tun has come into pit lane.
Okay, and that is Emmanuel da Costa Pereira. 6, the Ford Fiesta ST going through.
In the brightly coloured, most of them are brightly coloured, aren't they? But the pink silver 6 machine.
17th fastest is Junior da Costa Pereira.
Now, just thinking about this, and Lamirez putting that quick lap in so early on in the session, only 4 laps completed during this session. If you bear in mind, some of the cars are about to complete lap number 8 during this 25-minute second free practice session. I wonder if that's going to be significant as far as looking after tyres for the course of the weekend is concerned.
Yeah, it could be, although this is the one exception in that there's no limit on the number of tyres. The only limit really is what you can afford. I suspect because they're largely AMs, national races, there's not a bottomless pit of money to throw at it. So yes, the fewer laps you can do in free practice and keep a decent set of tyres, or 2 good sets even for qualifying and then the 2 races, the better stead it will stand you in, I would have thought.
And the rest of the car as well, the brakes,
yeah, exactly.
every element of the car. Although, when the gear circuit opens up just once a year, you would kind of think, I'll just stay out. I'll just have one more lap, please.
Yeah.
And another. And another.
It's one of the great quirks of modern motorsport. Drivers want track time because they're paying for it. But then the regulations on tyres, you know, whether it's Formula One or a category down, doesn't really allow
pit lane.
Yeah, exactly. Because if they drive around for 30 minutes, they're going to take life out of the tyres. You know, think Porsche Super Cup at a Grand Prix. You want an out lap, a time lap, and an in lap, and that's your lot.
And that's it. Yeah, all done.
Yeah. And the session is almost all done. A minute and change on the clock as you see the Evo go through there.
And he went into pit lane, didn't he? That's
yes.
Wan Jin Tun. So quickly back out onto circuit. So maybe some little tweak, a check of tyre pressures, something they were able to do quickly down in pit lane. And then just a quick shakedown back on circuit, because we have less than 1 minute now until the checker flag comes out. Luciano Lamirez, car number 3, top of the times, 2:37.155. Chu Hio Fong is out of pit lane as well. Quite a few of them coming out of pit lane to do one final lap to take the checkered flag.
Yeah, it's a curious one because it doesn't achieve very much. It is one more lap of mileage, that is all, but they don't really need to do very much to just come around to take the checkered flag. They don't have to go that rapidly because they're not going to achieve a flying lap time. So it's almost like doing a slow in lap, but doing it from the pit lane.
It makes you wonder whether they have been just tweaking something ever so slightly and just checking out what it's like on this final opportunity, because the checkered flag is out. Luciano Ramirez, I think, is going to be pretty safe with that in the pit lane. Only 4 laps completed during this session. That was all that was required to put in a 2:37. And that is the car that impressed earlier on. The number 15 car of Wang Jingtun. 2:41.085. Good enough for third.
Lamarash, I know the margin decreased as others got on with the job during that session, but to do such a good lap so early and to have the confidence that you could sit out half, almost 2/3 of the session, having banged that time in early on, that's impressive.
Very impressive indeed. So too is it impressive that that was a session interruption.
Yes.
So good news for all of them. They realised how damaging that could be first thing this morning.
So Badaraka, that was quickest this morning, only 6th, and Leon Wong, last year's winner, didn't get a lap time in.
No. I think there is much to be seen tomorrow during qualifying. And Friday being qualifying day, 2 qualifying sessions for them. First cars on circuit again tomorrow, 8:20 local time here in Macau, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So again, potentially it's going to be different weather conditions between their 2 qualifying sessions tomorrow.
And it's the better time from either of those 2 sessions, not an aggregated time.
Yep.
Will decide the race 1 grid, and it's the race 1 result that determines the grid for race 2.
And I'm still looking at my weather forecast, albeit it's a fairly basic weather forecast, but it's still giving me the potential of a spot or 2 of rain tomorrow.
Well, that'll liven it up, won't it?
It most certainly will. Confirmation then, quickest Luciano Ramirez did it so early on in the session in the Mitsubishi Evo 9 for the Bobadilla racing team. Very impressive. That's 0.8 of a second quicker than Chu Hio Fong with a 2:38.055 and Wang Jingtun with a 2:41.085. They are complete for the day now for the SJM Macau Roadsport Challenge. We expected over 30 cars. In the end, we got 29 cars on circuit for free practice 2. And that's the last time we will see on the circuit today the SJM Macau Roadsport Challenge.